Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into the video, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Let's dive in. I never imagined that a smile could hurt so much, especially when it came from the woman I once thought I'd grow old with. It was the kind of smile she used to give me in the early days, playful, teasing, alive. But this time, it wasn't for me. It was for someone else. The moment I saw her across that dimly lit bar, my chest tightened. I had gone there with my friend Daniel after work just to unwind. And there she was, my wife Claire, sitting at a small table near the window. Her hand brushed against another man's arm as they laughed. His eyes stayed on her lips, and she didn't pull away. I couldn't move for a few seconds. It felt as if the floor had cracked open beneath me. Have you ever seen the truth in a single glance? My first thought was to convince myself it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe it was an old friend, a coworker, someone harmless. But as she tilted her head and laughed softly, the kind of laugh she hadn't given me in months, I knew something between us had changed long before that night. When I finally got home, she was already there. She must have left soon after I saw her because her car was still warm in the driveway. She looked up from the kitchen counter when I walked in. Her face soft, too casual. "Hey," she said. "You're home early?" "Yeah," I replied, tossing my keys into the bowl by the door. "You too." For a second, something flashed in her eyes, guilt, fear. It vanished almost right away. "Yeah, I left the office early. I wasn't feeling great." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to, but the words tasted like lies. I walked past her, opened the fridge, and grabbed a bottle of water just to have something to do with my hands. My voice came out low, careful. "You sure it was the office you left early from?" Her body stiffened. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I said. "Just a question." She stared at me for a long moment before replying, her tone sharp. "If you've got something to say, Alex, say it." So I did. "I saw you tonight, Claire, at Mason's bar with someone." Her face froze, the color draining slowly. She opened her mouth but didn't speak right away. Then she let out a nervous laugh. "Oh God, you think I was doing something wrong? Were you?" She crossed her arms, anger taking over. "He's a friend from work. We were just talking. You're making this into something it's not." I looked at her, really looked, and realized how far she had drifted from me. There was a time she couldn't even tell a small lie without her voice shaking. Now she looked me dead in the eyes and played it off like it was nothing. "Talking looked more like flirting," I said. She scoffed. "Flirting doesn't mean anything, Alex. People do it all the time. You're overreacting." What if just flirting was the start of the end? That was when something in me broke. I took a slow step closer and met her gaze. "You're right," I said quietly. "Flirting doesn't mean anything, and neither does our marriage anymore." Her mouth parted slightly, shock flashing across her face. She expected me to argue, to accuse, to beg for the truth. But I didn't, because I already knew it. That night, I slept on the couch. I could hear her pacing in the bedroom above me, the soft thud of her footsteps like a clock counting down the end of something. The next morning, she tried to act normal, making coffee, packing her bag, humming under her breath. I almost admired how easily she could slip into the role, but the silence between us spoke louder than any fight. A few days later, I found proof, real, undeniable proof. A message popped up on her tablet while she was in the shower. "Last night was amazing. Can't stop thinking about you." The name was Ryan, her coworker. I stared at the screen until my vision blurred. My hand shook so badly I nearly dropped the tablet. When she came downstairs, I didn't say a word. I just showed her the message. Her face went pale. "Alex, it's not what you think." "Don't," I said quietly. "Don't insult me by pretending." Tears filled her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were from guilt or fear. "It just happened once," she whispered. "I didn't mean for it to." "Once?" I cut her off, my voice breaking. "You kissed him once. Slept with him once. Lied once. Which ones are we talking about, Claire?" She sank into the chair, sobbing softly. I turned away because watching her cry hurt more than the betrayal itself. I'd loved this woman since college. I'd built my life around her, trusted her, believed that whatever storms came, we'd face them together. But she had chosen someone else's arms. The weeks that followed were a blur of silence and numb routine. She moved into the guest room. We spoke only when necessary. Friends started noticing the distance, but I didn't have the energy to explain. One evening, as I sat staring at our wedding photo on the mantel, Claire came in quietly. "I'm sorry," she said, voice trembling. "I don't even know why I did it. I felt invisible, Alex. You've been so distant, always working, always tired. Ryan made me feel seen." Her words stabbed deep because somewhere beneath all the anger, I knew there was truth in them. I had been distant. Life had gotten busy and I'd stopped noticing her the way I used to. But still, nothing justified betrayal. "I was tired," I said, voice raw, not blind. "I thought we were a team, Claire. I thought we were stronger than this." "I thought so, too," she whispered. "I hate what I did. I hate myself for it." Tears slid down her cheeks, and for a moment I almost reached out, but my hand froze halfway. Love was still there, but it was cracked, bruised, bleeding. We tried therapy. For months, we sat across from a stranger trying to stitch together something that had already torn beyond repair. I wanted to forgive her. I truly did. But every time she touched me, I saw that bar, that laugh, that message. Trust once broken doesn't heal its scars. The final straw came on a quiet Sunday morning. She was scrolling through her phone when a message lit up the screen. She quickly turned it face down, but I saw the name again, Ryan. I didn't ask. I didn't shout. I simply stood up, went to the bedroom, and started packing a bag. She followed me in, panicking. "Alex, wait. Please, it's not what you think. I just needed closure." I zipped the suitcase shut. "Closure." I turned to her. "You had months for closure. You chose to reopen the wound instead." Her voice broke. "I still love you." I met her eyes one last time. "Then you should have protected me from your loneliness." I moved out that evening. The air felt heavy, like the world itself was mourning something sacred. Months passed. The pain dulled, though it never fully disappeared. I focused on work, on rebuilding the version of myself that existed before her. Sometimes I'd see her name pop up in my inbox, a message left unread. Apologies, memories, regret. I didn't respond. One night I drove past that same bar, the place where everything began to fall apart. Through the window, I saw a couple laughing together. The woman's head tilted back just like Claire's had been that night. For a fleeting second, my chest tightened, but then I exhaled. I realized I wasn't angry anymore, just tired. Because sometimes the hardest part of betrayal isn't the loss of love. It's learning to live in a world where the person you trusted most becomes a stranger. And as I drove away, I finally accepted the truth. Flirting might not mean anything to her, but to me it meant the end of everything that once was.